Hello, and welcome to episode 574 of Prog View, and as promised, it's The Colour of Spring by Talk Talk. It was their third album, released 1986, I think it was. Oh, you're right. You can't. Sorry, dog's just decided to join me. Are you going under the table? Go on in. That was not very good timing. I should really do that again. But hey, I'm unprofessional, so let's not do that. Talk Talk, yeah, it's the third album. I don't really care much for Talk Talk. I know a lot of people do, but I don't. That's it. The end. Oh, what can I say? Opens with "Happiness is easy." Again, there are a lot of statements on this. Happiness is easy. I don't believe in you. Life's what you make it. Give it up. There's a lot of that. Again, I'm not sure happiness is easy. Again, I'm not sure if they're being ironic or not. Happiness is a state of mind. We can be very zen about happiness. Does wealth make you happy? Does giving everything away make you happy? There are many ways of looking at happiness, and what brings us happiness. But is happiness easy? I've got a saying: life's as hard as you make it, as you want it to be, or as you make it. Life's what you make it. Wrong song. It's all right. There's some kids singing on it. What I've noticed about this and the other songs on the album is the very 80s production. Everything is meant to be heard. Everything is very distinct. It's an album for the CD generation, if you know what I mean. Very, very, very crisp. Also, and this extends out to other songs on the album, everything is really bottom up. A lot of drum machine, or what purports to be drum machine. I know somebody saying, no, it wasn't drum machine, it was Lee Harris, he did it, he did all the drums. But it's got a very metronomic feel to it. It's very, rigid. It doesn't swing at all. And like I say, there's percussion going off, again, highly separated, very 80s kind of style. Same with the again, it's very all the songs very sparse. It's chords, keyboards, holding chords down. It's very like that. Though the trumpet, I don't know who plays the trumpet. Who plays the trumpet? I'm looking at the. I didn't know Maurice Pert was on here. Oh God, now I said drum machine, and now I found should have read the Wikipedia page first, shouldn't I? David Rhodes is on as well. There's a lot of people who played the trumpet. Who played the trumpet? Anyone? I know there's a trumpet on here. I don't know, but anyway, whoever plays the trumpet, it sounds a bit like Mark Isham, and some of the arrangements did remind me of the work that David Sylvian was putting out at a similar time. Songs like "Let the Happiness In" and stuff like that. So don't worry. I mean, I do know this album. I know this album well. I've owned it for a long time. But again, it's not one I care for. I like the hits. I like It's My Life and Such a Shame and Life's What You Make It. I Don't Believe in You. Again, it's some of it. I mean, it's very down album, very down. So it's also contradictory because I'm sure in some of it he says I do believe in you, but it's called I Don't Believe in You. I don't know. Maybe I misheard it wrong. I don't know. It's like I've never listened to it, isn't it? And then we have the hit, Life's What You Make It. Again, there's not much to it. It is a loop. It is that that's the hook, and lots of and there's not much else going on there. I mean, but the drum style is quite progressive because what you hear here rhythmically is kind of copied on later in the late 90s with a lot of music. It's kind of a loose drum feel that was kind of adopted by would you call it the baggy movement? I'm thinking like the Stone Roses and people like that. I never know how to classify them. But yeah, so that's kind of ahead of its time. But you really do have to like Mark Hollis's vocals. For me, he sounds like he stubbed his toe on the sideboard and is in great pain. And his voice grates after a while. He's a vocalist of one tone and one colour, and that's why I find some of it quite hard to get through. Saying that, some songs are affecting. I'm trying. Is it April the 5th? I can never remember. I know there's one of these songs I quite liked. It's quite but I don't know. It's just a bit samey. I find it a bit dull. And when you look at the amount of talent that's on this, well, there's a lot of talent. It really is, I think, a case of diminishing returns. There's not a lot to it. There's not a lot to it. It's not, it's very style, all surface, no substance. Oh man, people are going to hate me for that. But I know that Talk are loved by lots and lots of people. So much so that a mobile phone company named themselves after the band, possibly, or am I making it up? I don't know. Anyway, I've reviewed it. It's the colour of spring. I don't care for it. I know a lot of people do. I find Talk a bit dull. Again, bland, and again, it's symptomatic of that music from the 80s. I'm thinking of this and Tears for Fears. There's a whole slew of music from that era that just leaves me cold. Indifferent, indifferent's probably the best way. But I say there's some moods in it that are perfectly pleasant. But would I sit down and listen to this for fun? No. Again, I've listened to these albums in the past out of duty because people go, "Oh, Talk, you got to like them." But I like the hits. And again, life's what you make it. It's real sixth form stuff, isn't it? Really, because you say that when you're young. People say to you, "Oh, life's what you make it," and then when you get old, you realise that life isn't what you make it. Life is what happens to you when you're trying to make plans, and only the lucky people can actually shape their life completely. Very many of us find that you try and do your best, and life deals you a series of shit hands. And then you can't really make anything of it. You just get by. So I used to like that song, so now I don't like that song. But I'm sure loads of you, it's great. Oh, Talk, Colour of Spring. Yeah. I've entertained you now. You're happy. But yeah, it is very much an album of the 80s. It's very interesting to listen to purely from a production standpoint because it's very, very clean, to the point of being soulless. You can almost, it's like all the air has been sucked out of it. It's very, very interesting, to hear what the production was like back then. Again, I do think they were mixing, for the CD market back then. There aren't any rough edges. There aren't any, there's no humanity on it. You know what I mean? There's no feel. It feels very. That's the thing. It feels very solid. Apart from like the bits with the trumpets and some of the more ambient guitar and synth washes, but a lot of it, because it's kind of driven by this rhythm track, which may not be drum machine. Now I've seen that Maurice Pert's here. How was I supposed to know? Steve Winwood, fucking hell, so much talent and such a dull album. You see, now if I'd have read the cast list before listening to this, I'd have been even more disappointed. But yeah, great if you like that kind of thing. Personally, it's not for me. It's not for me, I'm afraid. I'm sorry, but I've done it now. Fuck off. All right, it's time. And with that, a rating is, I give it 2 April the 5ths out of 5. That's 2 April the 5ths out of 5. But and that's it. There's only one more thing left to say. You know what that is. That is Prog on. Of course, this isn't Prog. And some of you in the comments, oh, it's not Prog. And that's that.